powerful book, In the Shadow of the Banyan, a group of professors from the Renaissance Scholars program in Germantown became inspired to work on a common thread project.
One of the reasons that we did choose it is because that book has so many different elements that the different courses could be inspired by.
The novel takes place in Cambodia during the Khmer Rouge regime, when an estimated 2 million people lost their lives in the 70s. Considering this, the professors adapted their curriculum of each of the 3 combined courses offered in the spring. In the case of the art and anthropology dyad, the students explore the overarching theme of identity and resilience, which is central to the novel.
When we created this project dealing with mask, we started dealing with identity, and we started dealing with those kind of forces that may affect one and affect one's creativity or affect one's ability to survive. So in that idea, what we did was we had the students create wax masks, and from that wax we encapsulated it into a mold, and we burned those waxes out. So the wax was actually destroyed. But in its place, we placed in something much more permanent, something much stronger, which we replaced was bronze.
In the environmental biology and physical geology dyad, for example, students have looked at important environmental issues in Cambodia, the Mekong River, and the challenges to agriculture.
So we had students look at the soil and the water and the energy use in Cambodia and kind of understand what's going on with that, because it has big impacts on people's lives as they're trying to recover from really difficult history.
The International Relations and Psychology dyad used the novel to talk about a large number of different aspects of the book, such as humanitarian intervention, international courts,
especially focusing on the experience of the genocide under the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia in the 1970s, but also looking at kind of what it takes for societies to move forward and emerge resilient from that experience.
The course History of Modern Asia also participated on the semester-long project, looking at the long history of Cambodia and how that history interrelates with different religions and cultural traditions.
As soon as they read it and as soon as they really started, we began just basic textbook kind of looking. We saw all of these themes that just kept reappearing, not only throughout Cambodian history, which also reflected the history of a lot of places in Monsoonal Asia, but also the Ramayana, that story that in Cambodia is called the Rimkhur, and the stories of the great religious tradition, Hinduism and Buddhism, and that idea of Shiva's cosmic dance of destruction, and then the Buddha providing this peace.
The students displayed a variety of ways to showcase and share what they have learned.
Each group was able to express it in their own way. We were given parameters to focus on something within our dyad, and so we focused on agriculture and soil, but we had other groups as well that focused on climate change and energy use and things of that matter.
You really cannot have culture without art, and vice versa. We are all kind of have an innate ability to be creative. How we express that really defines how we are culturally.
But sometimes the strangest truths can be found in fiction. He was a Brahmin prince and she his cobra queen. Their marriage brought together the very moon and sun, and you thought your anniversary was romantic. This land, it became known as Cambodia.
It is, after all, a story about my family's ordeal during the Khmer Rouge regime. In the span of those 4 years, from 1975 to 1979, amidst starvation, disease, forced labor, and systematic execution, I grew from a 5-year-old child into a 9-year-old adult, forced into maturity not by the small pleasurable gains of an ordinary growing up, but by the losses of home, family, and country. While an estimated 1.7 million Cambodians perished, among them many of my family members, I survived. This fact alone I cannot escape. However, I tell the story as autobiography or fiction. War entered my childhood world, not with the blasts of rockets and bombs, but with my father's footsteps as he walked through the hallway, passing my bedroom toward his. I heard the door open and shut with a soft click. I slid off my bed, careful not to wake Ratna in her crib, and snuck out of my room. I pressed my ear to the door and listened. "Are you all right?" Mama sounded concerned. Each day before dawn, Papa would go for a solitary stroll, and returning an hour or so later, he would bring back with him the sights and sounds of the city, from which would emerge the poems he read aloud to me. This morning, though, it seemed he came back as soon as he had stepped out, for dawn had just arrived and the feel of night had yet to dissipate. Silence trailed his every step like the remnant of a dream long after waking. I imagine him lying next to Mama now, his eyes closed as he listened to her voice, the comfort it gave him amidst the clamor of his own thoughts. "What happened?" "Nothing, darling," Papa said. "What is it?" she persisted. A deep, long sigh. Then finally he said, "The streets are filled with people, Anna. Homeless, hungry, desperate." He paused. The bed creaked, and I imagined him turning to face her, their cheeks on the same long pillow as I had often seen. The miseries. "No matter what awfulness is out there," Mama cut in gently, "I know you will take care of us."